Man, what's up? I'm tired as I don't know what. Happy holiday to everybody. If you're looking at, what's about to go down or whatever, I'm gonna if you tell by the title, since it's quote unquote Independence Day, are you willing to free yourself? Nah, it's gonna be about different things, you know. So one of the first things about it is, are you willing to free yourself from, ideologies that don't gain you anything, Like, matter of fact, let me start with this. Are you willing to free yourself from negativity? If you want to get your independence today, can you get your independence from negativity? Can you fight that off? You know what I mean? And to me, that means a lot. What's up, Mr. Edmore Cooley? What's happening? You know, are you willing to fight away the negativity in your life? And not just putting it on people outside of yourself. What about the negativity that you harbor inside, right? So as I was talking about ideologies, are you willing to free yourself from not being confident in yourself and your abilities? Are you willing? Because to me, that's negative. To think you can't do something, or you're not able to do something, or you don't have what it takes to do something. What's up, Melvin? Man, how you feel? Can you are you willing to free yourself of that? Are you willing to free yourself of the idea that it could never happen to you? Instead of saying, if I put myself in a position this can happen to me, you're saying never me. Well, that's negative. You know, are you willing to free yourself from that perspective in itself? Okay. Are you willing to free yourself from that? Because if you don't think it can happen to you, then in some ways, it never will. If you're hoping for the universe to bring something back to you, RBI, what's happening? 3D, what's going on? So, are you willing to free yourself? Third degree, I'm bugging. I'm tripping. Are you willing to free yourself from that? Because that's a problem. Like, one of the other things, are you willing to free yourself from, you know, bad habits as far as um, your diet? Are you willing to free yourself from, like, what? To whom it may concern, are you willing to free yourself from eating bad? In a sense, are you willing to go vegetarian or vegan, Presbyterian, to get rid of the things that's been kicking your butt in life and help you get healthy? Are you willing to free yourself from the American diet in the sense of the things that's the reasons why this country, for the most part, obese and sick? Are you willing to free? And it's crazy to say this on this day because people are barbecuing and eating bad, and I know. But are you willing to free yourself of that? Are you willing to put down certain things that are not good for you? Are you willing to free yourself of not just that part of the diet, but soda? Some people call it soda, some people call it pop. Are you willing to free yourself of Coca-Cola or Diet Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper? Because to me, people have a unhealthy addiction to soda. Are you willing to free yourself from that? Are you willing to free yourself from sugar? Because, like I said, this is going to go to a bunch of different things. Are you willing to free yourself from sugar? Because some people got type 2 diabetes, and you continue to eat bad. You still eating a lot of sugar, a lot of cakes, a lot of pies, blah blah blah. You're not, you can't put it down. A lot of snacks, you can't put it down. Acid beverage, all right, I got you. So this is what we are. Are you willing to do that? PC, what's happening? No, maybe so. Maybe so. But are you, are you willing to free yourself from those things? Like, are you willing, for some people, are you willing to free yourself from alcohol? Maybe, maybe even medication is like something like weed, or drugs. Are you willing to free yourself from other drugs? Alcohol is a drug too, but are you willing to free yourself from that? Do you need it as a stress reliever? Can you find another stress reliever? Or do you need it for anxiety? Can you find something else to calm yourself down, to help you with anxiety? Like, are you willing to free yourself from these things? Because a lot of people, we're overly dependent on certain things in our life that we shouldn't be. And truth be told, sometimes it holds us back. It doesn't push us forward. So are you willing to free yourself from that? Some people do, some people are, some people aren't. Now, are you willing to free yourself from drama? Like, do you need it? Like, some people have this thing where, they need drama in their life. They need some type of shenanigans, some type of issue. You know what I'm saying? Do you need that? Do you need to be around people and meet people and get into it with people? Do you need a constant what do you call that? Constant adversarials. Constant adversarials. Do you need constant adversaries? Do you always need to have something? Is that what gets you going? Is that what gets your blood flowing and blood pumping? Can you free yourself of needing drama? Because a lot of people, when I went back, said about the anxiety, a lot of people do things like eat, drink, smoke, and to stop their anxiety. And truth be told, part of their anxiety is they always put themselves in positions that they shouldn't be putting themselves in. And it's the positions that got them messed up. So are you willing to free yourself from drama? Are you willing to actually live in reality and not look at people and look for the worst in them, or look for the or look for a fence that wasn't there? That's part of the thing, what I mean about drama. Sometimes people are offended by things that didn't even happen and weren't even there. Derails, what's happening? Cool. Are you willing to do that? Some people say they are. Some people are not. You know what I mean? Are you willing to free yourself? I talk about this before in other topics where, what do you put into your system? So are you willing to free yourself from putting toxic imagery and toxic sound into your system? What I mean by that, and the things that you watch and you listen to. Are you willing to free yourself? Because some people are not happy. You know what I'm saying? Some people are not happy. Some people are on edge. Some people can't handle certain things in life. And they always looking at things that are just toxic is a word we use a lot, but things that are just steeped in negativity. Certain type of movie, certain type of show, certain type of music, and now you feel that same feeling. Man, Keith, I already know. I had to put a friend to the side like that too. I get it. But are you willing to free yourself from that? Are you willing to say, I'm not listening to this? Because I can tell, there are certain things I can't listen to or watch because it just don't sit right with me. Like, you know, even things that I used to love back in the day, if I listen to it now, watch it now, I'm like, because, you know, I don't want to be in that space. I just don't want to be in that space. I don't want to be around that space. I don't want to invite that mindset into my space in the first place. So I got to ask, you know, are you willing to free yourself from that? Now, when I started talking about these ideologies, I got to start going there. You know, for the people who are unhappy being a feminist, I should have started with the men. A MGTOW, a feminist. What's up, Nick? What's up, Unc? Doctor, what's popping? That's what it be, Miss Witt. You know, if you an incel or whatever, you know, if you're a man hater, like, come on, like, are you willing to free yourself from that? Because when I see some of these ideologies like that, a lot of times I hear a lot of unhappy people. Been down that road, I understand it. Are you willing to free yourself from those ideologies because you're not, you know, you're caged in. B flow, my bad. You know, so like if you're a MGTOW and you unhappy about going your own way, are you willing to free yourself from it? Are you willing to say, you know what, this ain't working for me? Obviously, it ain't working for me. What's up, Graham? Same thing with the feminists. You know, oh, men, the patriarchy. Okay, cool. How's that working for you? It's not really working for me. I'm not really, you know, living my best life doing this. Cool. So are you willing to free yourself from that? Because that will mean you're gonna have to excommunicate yourself from the people in those ideologies. You know, a lot of times people don't want to, you know, it's not, what's up, Wayman? Mike, what's happening? The second shutdown, I'm hearing. Because this is part of the thing that's going on. Fit Mom, hello. You know, this is part of what's going on. Is, you know, people are coming face to face with the reality that maybe, just maybe, it's not everything outside in the world. Maybe it's everything inside of you. Maybe, just maybe, it's you. You know, and maybe, just maybe, those ideologies that you've taken didn't really work for you. A little bit, Michael, a little bit. So let's just be honest about it. Are you willing to do it? You know? Oh yeah. You know, like, because like one of the things I see, I'm gonna get back to the MGTOW, like the MGTOW, because I can't think of nothing. Really, MGTOW is not it's not an equivalent to feminism, but because it's more of a response in a sense. And I don't see as much quote unquote misogyny as people are looking for nowadays. Just my opinion. It's not you. What's that, Mike? Yeah. But I'm using it anyway, because what winds up happening is once you take those ideologies and you become distrusting, or you dislike the opposite sex because of it, it doesn't really bring you anywhere positive for the most part at the end of the day. And truth be told, like I was trying to say earlier, hey Erica, you know, okay, if you feel that way, I got you. Healthy people need people. You know what? I understand that. I could rock with that part. I get you on that. You know, so if you do this, you're willing to put yourself in a position where what you're doing, and how can I say it properly? You dislike the opposite sex so much, you willing to make up stuff to make it fit. That's what you're doing. And to be willing to make up stuff to make it fit means you have a group of people that you're involved with willing to make up stuff to make it fit. So if you're willing to free yourself, are you willing to free yourself of the lies that you and your group have told to make you feel better? You know, that's the part that I was trying to get out. Because there's certain things that people do that just, they're not true. But on top of that, are you willing to free yourself in the aspect of, can you stop blaming the opposite sex for the things you don't want to improve in with yourself? See, part of the blame game is, I would be better if you would do this. Can you free yourself from that? Can you say, you know what? I would be better if I do this. Because if you look at it that way, you take the responsibility off of somebody to fix you. Because they don't necessarily have to be there or not. They could be away and it's still their fault. They could be in your face and it's still their fault. You know what I'm saying? They could have just left and it's still your fault. They could have not even showed up yet and it's their fault. But you are with you every day. So are you willing to free yourself from that? Some people might have to. You know what? The red pill is a euphemism for reality. Now, if you free yourself from reality, yeah, that's delusion. But it happens. But some people might. I say this. I might. What's up, Bill? Let me meet you halfway. Are you willing to free yourself from red pill rage? Because that's partially what I'm talking about right now. Are you willing to free yourself from red pill rage? Are you willing to just accept it, accept the reality as it is, even though you don't like it, and deal with it? Don't be mad at the world, or stop being mad at the world, and stop. You got an unfair shake. I get all that, but can you free yourself from that rage? Because ultimately, that rage was tearing people down. It's not actually the red pill; it's the rage. Because people feel like they've got shortchanged or slighted, and they didn't get the things that they deserve, and now it's halfway rage, halfway revenge. Are you willing to free yourself of that? Because some people are addicted to the rage. Some people are addicted to the idea of revenge. Some people can't wait to get back at somebody that's not necessarily the person that they really want to get back at. Because 9 times out of 10, the red pill rage comes from somebody in your past who's wronged you that you're really not going to run into again. You might see them on social media, but you're not really going to run into them again. But that's my 2 cents on that part. But so getting back to are you willing to free yourself? Are you willing to free yourself? Man, what I'm about to say is gonna sound cold. I just thought about that. Are you willing to free yourself from America? Are you willing to free yourself from the American dream the way you thought it was possible? You only thought it one way. You had a cookie cutter America and a cookie cutter American dream. So this country is like this. Like, can you take the red pill about America and see America for what it is and free yourself from the ideology that doesn't do you any good? And what I mean by that is, can you free yourself from the idea that this is a free country and you can do whatever you want? Yeah, that's where it's coming from, Uncle Nick. It's a free country. You can do it. It's not a free country. This is, I hate to say it this way. We call America a free country, but it's a capitalistic country. So you got to pay for your freedom. It's a free country for pay. It's a free country for those who can afford it. Are you willing to free yourself from the idea that you don't have to, that you're gonna have to pay for everything in this country? Even to free yourself, you might have to pay for it. Because people tell you might need therapy. So guess what? If you need therapy, you might have to pay to get it. If you need to make more money to be in a better position to enjoy the life in America, you might have to pay some institution or some type of organization or some type of business to teach you the skills you need to financially free yourself from America. What's up, hustle, man? This is, are you willing to free yourself that way? Are you willing to say, you know what? I'm gonna have to free myself from America, work, just grind and work hard and good things that happen to you. Well, that's not necessary. You might have to free yourself from that idea and say, I might have to work hard, work smart, work in different directions. You know what I'm saying? Some people can focus, some people cannot. What I mean by this is, in a more broad sense, are you willing to free yourself of the idea that life is going to work the way you say so? Because, they always say, God is laughing at your plans. Some of your plans might work out and some of them won't. Are you willing to free yourself to say, you know what, this is all I'm going to do and all I know, this is all I'm going to ever be? Man, are you really? B-Flow, what's up? Mental freedom, what's going on? And turn it to attack dogs for the cause. I get it. Are you willing to free yourself from that? Because at some point, the reality is gonna come. It's gonna set that. You know what? Your dreams and aspirations might not happen when you want them to. Your life, the schedule that you set for life might not be the schedule that you're gonna wind up being on. I definitely dig that, hustle. It's not your schedule. Free yourself from the idea that things gonna happen when you say they're gonna happen in the time frame you say they're gonna happen. Because that's not how it normally works. Gab, man, peace to you, brother. I hope you doing good. I didn't get a chance to see Farrakhan today. I didn't. But, salute to you, man. Salute to you. But are you willing to free yourself? Now, are you willing to free yourself for the need to be right? See, some of us, want to be right, or want to be right all the time, or fight to be right. We're right fighters, right? And being right don't make you right at the end of the day, because if you could fight for something that's right, but you might fight for what's right just because you want to be right, not fighting for the actual right. So, are you willing to free yourself from that? Look, I'm not gonna be sitting here and be a right fighter just because I want to win the argument, or I want to be known as the person who's correct. I want to go down in the books. It's all right. I got you, hustle. It's just me. I need to be numero uno all the time. All the time. Yeah, exactly. Fighting for your ego. That's what we're gonna do. Because can you free yourself from that? Because you might be right and you might be alone. You might be right, but you might wind up being unhappy. You might be right, but you might be right on a short term, not the long term. Because I've known that to happen often, where you're right, in the beginning, but you wasn't right in the end. Yeah, exactly, B Flow. This is where we're at. You know, are you willing to free yourself from these type of things? You know, um, I should have I should have doubled back and said, you know, when I was saying God is laughing at your plans, you know, are you willing to free yourself from the idea that the world's gonna move when you say so? Because it doesn't. This is part of the need to be right. You know. Now, hmm, who are you willing to free yourself from the need to be liked or loved or the need for validation? Are you willing to free yourself from that? Because you can't really be you if the you putting out to the world is the you that wants to be liked by everybody, or you that wants to be validated, or the you that you know that you want other people to see you in a certain light. Are you willing to free yourself from them seeing you in a certain light and you putting how you see you first? Are you willing to do that? Because if you can't be honest with yourself and be who you are honestly, who you are and who you want to be seen as is going to be a sham anyways. So sometimes people are confined by, you know, you really don't know me, you really don't know the real me. Well, the reason that is because you wasn't willing to free yourself to be the real you. Are you willing to free yourself to be you? I felt like a doggone spiritual advisor saying something like that. I was watching 1,000 Words yesterday with Eddie Murphy and Sanji. But are you willing to free yourself to be you? And because there hasn't been a you before this, there's not another you on the planet, and there's never going to be another you after you die. So you might as well embrace that. You know, yeah, and putting on the front of his side. I got you, Rex. What's popping? You know, are you willing to free yourself? You know, some people. I don't think most people are. I don't think most people are. Oh, I ain't concerned. I'm concerned about the coronavirus, but then again, I'm not. You know, because hmm, mm, mm, mm. Like, are you willing to free yourself from other people's expectations of you? Other people's, you know, dreams, not necessarily dreams, but what they want you to do. Like, are you willing to free yourself? Because some people, this is hard to do. Are you willing to free yourself to say by either saying no to people, because some people can't say no. You know, that one of their biggest things that they need freedom from is that they say yes too much. But you a good person. You're supposed to, okay, I'll do it. But you supposed to be like that. Okay, I'll do it. Are you willing to free yourself and say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put myself on the front lines for you and your thoughts and what you think I am and what you think I should do and what you think I should be anymore. Are you willing to free yourself? Say, I free myself from being a yes man, from being somebody else's ideal of what a good person should be. You know, you can be a good person without being somebody's puppet of what a good person is. Are you willing to free yourself, man? You know, like, ideally speaking, see, you can connect with God and free yourself from religion. That was me too, Hustle. You know, that was me too. You can connect with God and free yourself from the religion or the dogma. But you know, you could connect with humanity and spirituality without being held to other people's interpretations, because some people don't have the right interpretation of religious texts. So, so they kind of pervert religious texts, sometimes purposely, sometimes by mistake, because they're putting their own feelings into it on things that are out of context. But just, are you willing to do that though? Are you willing to free yourself from that? Are you willing to free yourself from materialism? Man, hustle. Thanks, fam. It's, I'm glad you understand. Thanks, hustle. Cynical, what's happening? Are you willing to free yourself from materialism? And the reason I ask this is, are you willing to free yourself from the idea that what you accumulate makes you? Because sometimes, what you accumulate doesn't make you. It's just an extension of it's supposed to be an extension of what you are. But if you look at what accumulate, if you accumulate things and if you lose those things, then you're not anybody anymore. Like, there's a difference between there are people who will say they're successful people who fell off and then they got successful again. And I would assume that those people that didn't make, they made themselves. So they lost something, but they can gain it back because that's how they are. Because what they do is just an extension of who they are. But there are people who succeeded and then fell off, and they wanted to keep up with this stuff. They wanted to keep up with the materialism because the material is what they felt made them successful. People can't rock with them unless they have the outward accumulation of stuff. And for the most part, this is an American pastime. Mello, what's going on? My bad. Are you willing to free yourself from materialism? Because when all the stuff, when it's just you sitting alone, does the stuff matter? Does the stuff make you happier? Does the stuff make you a better person? Could it make you more confident when you have it, or less confident when you does it? Does the stuff, do things really make or break you? Or they're a tool? Because sometimes it's a tool, and I get some things are tools for motivation. If it's a tool for motivation, I definitely understand it. But if it's your sole motivation, it might not be good. You know what I'm saying? Harry Thomas, E.T. Yeah, I know the name brand addiction is you free yourself from the illusion. Oh man, you always been deep, Hustle. That's definitely part of the idea, because a lot of us are stuck in fantasy. If you got kids, are you willing to free yourself from trying to live through your kid? Because sometimes we'll sabotage our children because we want them to be the second coming of us. Are you willing to free yourself from that? Are you willing to put the part two down, or the competition between them and yourself? I want you to be better than me, but they might not they might not be going on the same path as you at the same time. You might have went this way, they might have went that way, but the only path is the one you took when you was that age. Are you willing to free yourself from that? Ooh, people pleasing means your parents did you dirty. I can see that. Because some of us don't want we want our children to be successful, but we don't know how to. Some of us don't know how to say these are the keys to success and these are universal keys to success. You only know the ones that you use, and that you put to practical application. You don't know the other ones. So are you willing to free yourself from that? Because you might wind up being a better parent if you free yourself from, I need you to be like me, because they're not going to be like you. You want them to take on all your good characteristics and not your bad, but that's part of the parenting thing. But they're not going to be like you, the person. They're their own person. Um, Are you willing to free yourself? Oh shoot! How can I say this? Because this might be a problem. I'm trying to. How can you? Are you willing to free yourself and accept that you're gonna die? Are you willing to free yourself and accept that you don't have infinite time? So you have to be able to smell the roses while you're here. You have to be able to get certain things done while you're here, and nobody's promised tomorrow. What's up, Ted? Nobody's promised tomorrow, but at the same time, are you willing to free yourself from the idea that you could just keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off for another day? Because guess what? Those days add up, because you ain't got a bunch of days. Because sometimes some of us need to have the understanding that it ain't we could watch everybody else die and not assume that's going to be us one day. My grandfather just got buried Thursday. So it's funny how, life goes on. Are you willing to accept that life goes on when other people pass, and life will go on when you pass too? So you might have to make the most out of your time here. Man, it's all good, hustle. Appreciate it. My granddad was 79. Are you willing to free yourself from that though? Some of us have a hard time dealing with that. I know personally, I went through a point where I can accept the mortality of life, and then I went through a period where I couldn't. A few near-death experiences made me accept that there is an afterlife because of the things that happen in those near-death experiences. But it's still one of those things where, are you willing to free yourself to say, hey, I ain't got all day. Time keeps moving. Time is not going to stop. Not for no one. Time waits for no man. So are you willing to free yourself from that? Are you willing to free yourself from the idea that you can have it all, that you can have everything? Because if you can't, life might be a problem. Yeah, man, I get it, hustle. I lost 4 it's not really 4, 3 in the last 2 months, and a good friend of mine lost their husband. And it's a young lady on YouTube that lost hers, but it's not the good friend I'm talking about. It's somebody I grew up with. She lost her husband. And they were married less than a year. But we got to free ourselves from these things, because this idea that I can have it all, I can have it all, I can have it all. No, you can't. No, you can't. The best way I could put it is, if you feel like you can have it all, you can have it all, but not at the same time. You're gonna have to accept when you can accumulate having it all in different experiences in life, but you ain't gonna have it all in life all at one time. It's not gonna happen. Are you willing to free yourself from that? Because sometimes that pulls us down as human beings, because the yearn for having it all becomes the motivation, and nothing is good enough until you have it all, and you miss out on pretty much everything around you on the journey of quote unquote trying to have it all. at once. So are you willing to free yourself from that? You know, some of us are, some of us are not. Are you willing to free yourself? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Screw it, we grown. Are you willing to free yourself from sex? Are you willing to put sex down for a minute and not let sex and the idea of sex and the possibility of sex control you or motivate you? Can you free yourself from sex so it doesn't sabotage you in life? Because some of even the complexity we've had, and some of the conversations that we had, even on this platform, have been centered around sex and the possibility of sex. And one of the things about that is when you let sex cloud your judgment, you probably won't make good judgment calls. Because everything you say, everything you do, everything you eat, every place you go, everything you buy, everywhere you present yourself is not necessarily to put yourself forward in the best light. It's to put yourself forward on the sexual marketplace the best. So if you can be the best you and can you work on being your best and putting sex to the side? Can you free yourself from that? Because in my opinion, as adults, sex is something that's going to happen between adults anyways. So to make it, to put it at the forefront of your mind might cause you more harm than good. You know, but are you willing to free yourself from that? You know, I'm gonna do this both ways. Are you willing to free yourself from love the way you want it? And what I mean by that is everybody has people in their lives that love them. And people will say they have a love language. And other people try to express to you that they love you and you know it, but you want it in your language in particular. Are you willing to free yourself of a person gotta love me this way for me to get it? This is because if they do it that way, you get it. But do you overlook all the other ways that they do it? Are you willing to free yourself and be open to other love languages that are not your favorite? Can you free yourself from love in that way? You know, some people love gotta be love. That's a dope way to say it, cousin. That's a dope way to say it. Can you be love bilingual? Because ultimately, okay, somebody sent me a message. Gotcha. Because now, I can't. Well, I that ain't a love language. Perfection. That's just getting hit on by people. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Don't be so. Don't worry about it. That too shall pass. But and the same thing goes. Are you willing to free yourself from hate? Because sometimes, sometimes people can hate you, and you may hate people, and they have too much real estate in your mind and your heart. Are you willing to free yourself from hate in the sense of, giving people real estate that does not help you? To me, there's a difference between if somebody doesn't like me, if somebody hates me, if somebody wants to attack me in person, okay, if that's gonna happen, it's just gonna go down. Let's just do it. But I'm not about to sit here and day in, day out, dislike you day in and day out. Because, if y'all don't like a person, I'm gonna get at them. But if a person doesn't like me and they don't get at me, they just playing. I don't need to be playing around with that. Overindulge, yeah. I definitely get that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold. Sorry about that. I had a call, so excuse me about that. Um, let me get to it. Uh, but I was saying, if somebody hates me and they don't get at me, I'm not concerned about them. And they're not going to be on my mind every day. And I'm not going to hate a person every day. Oh, I can't stand that person. I can't stand their face. I can't stand their voice. Are you willing to free yourself for that? Because you getting triggered by a person existing. That's a problem. And if that bothers you so much, just don't go there. Because you're going somewhere to get triggered now. That becomes silly, But that's just a whole nother. That's something else that goes on in life. Now, now this goes for me. Are you willing to free yourself from your self-image of yourself? What I mean by that is, I know me personally, there's certain things I won't wear, certain places I won't go, certain things I won't do because of my self-image of myself, right? Well, I've been there. I'm not like that anymore, but I got favorite colors. I'm gonna wear black. I'm gonna wear blue. There you go. That's red. Get that out of my face. Little too bright for me, player. Yellow, little too bright for me, player. Orange, little too bright for me, player. I need some black. I need some blue. Give me something white in there every now and then. I'm good. But here's the problem. I'm gonna go to the game. I'm not gonna go to the salsa place. I'm gonna go to the game. I'm gonna go to the boxing match. I'm not gonna go to, I will go to the steppers joints, but I rarely do that. So I'll go to this type of concert. I won't go to this type of concert. And the reason I say that, are you willing to free yourself from your self-image? Because you miss out in so many good things in life because you have a self-image of yourself that you can't see yourself being in certain places, doing certain things, looking a certain way, acting a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with these things. They're just normal things, but you're not in that. You're not in that space. Would I ever date a white lady? I've seen some women that are attractive, but I really don't. I like black. I like sisters. I'm with a sister right now, so I guess not. Patrick, and what's up, Patrick? T. Ray, what's happening? But that becomes an issue where you get in your own way with your own image of yourself. One of the things I missed out on and I wasn't able to do was go see Alvin Ailey. Because I thought, you need to get your butt out there and look at something different. And, I went to the opera last year, but truth be told, I had to get myself there. The only reason I went, because it was common at the symphony. You know what I'm saying? And I needed a way to work myself to get into that atmosphere. Because I'm like, look, man, look at this place. Like, are you willing to free yourself from that? You could be around so many beautiful places and around so many beautiful people and around so many beautiful events. Not just forget like some people, you haven't got there to network yet, but just to be in a space and see different people who enjoy something that you thought you wouldn't enjoy and you wind up enjoying it. The reason I'm putting it was a movie. Forgot the movie that Kevin Hart was in. I went to see it when it first came out with the guy from Breaking Bad. That's what they call him, Breaking Bad. But I remember him from that family show, Malcolm in the Middle. But when he played the guy who was paralyzed, and Kevin Hart was like his caregiver, and he took Kevin Hart to the opera, and at first he was making fun of it, but he really got into it. And I thought, and that's for me, that was what sparked that. Like, I need to free myself from I'm not gonna do this. I'm the type of dude that's not gonna do it. Forget all that. Because you never know what you gotta give something a chance, and stop being I'm this one way, so I can never put that in my repertoire. That's BS. Are you willing to free yourself from your self-image of yourself? Like, because that self-image can be detrimental and negative, Are you willing to free yourself from even adding on to that, from the idea that you cannot be vulnerable? I find that being vulnerable, being honest, being open, I'm not saying you out here crying and spilling your guts, but I find it's a freer way to live. And I think for a lot of people, it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to be open because people think, oh man, people are going to look at that as a weakness and they're going to attack you. Well, my comment to you would be, free yourself from thinking that you're weak. That if you are vulnerable or you're open or you're honest with somebody, that if they're going to come at you and attack you, but you somehow weak enough so weak that you can't fight that off. If somebody uses that, what's up, Mike, to try to attack you, that's because they're weak. I found something that I feel is a weak spot. No, when somebody shows you something vulnerable, even tactically speaking, this might be vulnerable, but you're gonna have to. But it's probably protected. You get what I'm saying? It's probably protected, and you're gonna have to work your way to it. So the thing about it is, can you free yourself from that outer shell of, because sometimes people are like, man, I'm vulnerable, I'm open, but you got to work your way in there. And the reason why I say, can you free yourself of that idea that you can't be vulnerable, is work to be vulnerable, because what winds up happening, you wind up having to work to get to yourself. Other people have to work to get to you, and you have to work to get to you. So you might not even know how to get to you because you put up the shell so much that you don't even know how to get in no more. You've been building that wall up so high, you forgot to put a door. Yeah, thank you. Kareem, what's up? Thank you, Hustle. Free yourself from comfort. Thank you. Are you willing to free yourself from comfort? Because I can kid you, I've been eating this weekend. I was eating bad, and I went running this morning. I normally go work out almost pretty much every day, but I went jogging this morning, and I was about to die out the smoke. But that, for me, that's part of your comfort zone. Are you willing to free yourself from your comfort zone? And if she's still in here, shout out to Erica, because when Erica and Erica Williams, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, her journey that she's put out there as business is uncomfortable for some people, and when people say they want something in life and then they take those steps, shout out to you, because you freeing yourself from the comfort zone. Like, I can't do certain business. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't, I can't leave my 9 to 5 and actually work. Like, when you're willing to free yourself from your comfort zone, you're gonna get a lot further in life. Darren, what's happening, man? Thanks. Are you willing to free yourself from comfort? Absolutely. Thank you, fam. Are you willing to do it? Because some of us, when we think about the country and independence, blah, 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 but some of us aren't independent. We're not free from ourselves. And ultimately, are you willing to free yourself from your upbringing, your family history that you feel like holds you down? Patrick, what's happening? I mean, Envy, what's going on? He said, but they look like black. You know, because sometimes some of us aren't free because of our childhood. Some of us aren't free because of our neighborhoods. Some of us aren't free because of our families' ideologies. And it's hard to shake that. You know, you can't, they take a person out the hood, you can't take the hood out the person. Are you willing to free yourself, from that? Like, because for that might be a hard thing. You might not like certain things that happen to you as a child, and you don't know how to operate as an adult without that that paradigm being at the forefront of all of your decisions. My family was like this, so I got to be like this. My neighborhood was like this, so I got to be like this. This happened to me as a kid, and it scarred me for life. Are you willing to free yourself from the idea that something scars you for life? Can you put that down? Can you say this scarred me from, you'll say this scarred me for life, but can you say this scarred me from 10 to 35? It's not, but I free myself from that. I'm not going to let that scar me for the rest of my life. This scarred me from, 15 to 20. Because there are things that happen to you in between these things that scarred you, but you got over it. Some wounds are deeper than others. But are you willing to free yourself from the things that scarred you so you can be a better person at the end of the day? Because some scars and some wounds are on you, but they're not in you. You know what I'm saying? They healed. You can see them on you, but they're not in you. They're not the injuries that have you operating in life a certain way day in and day out. Are you willing to free yourself from that? And are you willing to free yourself of the idea that no one will accept the real you? Because that's not true. But when you put it out there, nobody sees the real you, not even you. Are you willing to free yourself from that idea that, you know what, nobody could love the real me? That's ridiculous. Oh, no, that's a dope line. That's a dope line, Hustle. Your lady. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Now, I will say, now, when I said earlier, free yourself from America, are you willing to free yourself from the idea that this is all there is and this is all there ever will be? What I mean by that is, when people tell you to get out and see the world, are you willing to free yourself from limited? Are you willing to free yourself to the point where you can see out past your limitations? Be willing to see past your limitations and go past your limitations and go, what's up, Phil? Yeah. If it break free, man. Because some of us can't see past our limitations. You can't see past your neighborhood. You know, you can't see. Like I remember, like I went back to Chicago, and the blocks when I was a kid was so big. When I got back, they were so small. When I would go to New Orleans, the neighborhoods were so big, but as an adult, they're so small. Um, and I think to myself, like, you know, when I was here, I used to always say I'm not gonna live here, and I always thought past this place. And when you realize how big the world is, you realize how small the part of it that you grew up is compared to it. So, are you willing to free yourself from that? Like, you know, some people in my neighborhood stayed in the neighborhood so long that they got killed, um, and some people stayed in the neighborhood so long that they never grew because they wasn't willing to see themselves outside of the neighborhood. And what I mean with that is, some people, you know, are you willing? Are you willing to free yourself from that to the point where you don't sabotage yourself when you leave? You know, appreciate that, Patrick. Like, I've met too many people who couldn't survive outside of their neighborhood or outside of the where they grew up or outside of the city that they grew up in. They couldn't survive. And when it was time, they would rather be a big fish in a small pond than actually go, you know, take a journey in the ocean. And are you willing to free yourself to not sabotage yourself? You know, it's just nature. I feel you. You know, uh, are you willing to not sabotage yourself? Because, you know, I was thinking about this even with this pandemic. That happens to a lot of college students when they say people put on a freshman 15 or people last the semester and they drop out. It's because they can't free themselves from being away from home. They can't make home. They can't. Are you willing to free yourself from the idea that home is where you make it and that home is where you grew up? Because as an adult, home is where you make it. You're gonna have to make the places you go to home, and say, okay, this, you know, this is also home. If you're not willing to free yourself from that, you're always gonna be um, tied to the only home that you know. Like there are a lot of places that I call home and they feel like home, but because I had multiple places, I understood how to pack up and make home somewhere else. Because home is within you, and you make it. You know, the home that's within you, you make it when you go out. You know, yeah, I feel you. It is heavy. You know, it definitely is heavy. Um, but I've been on here an hour. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope y'all have a great holiday. Um, take care. One love to everybody. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. So peace.